Welcome to Hope with Jonathan podcast, where we share stories of hope. My name is Jonathan Traylor. I'm a 15-month kidney transplant recipient who faced a near-death experience back in July of 2019. I had a lot of different symptoms: chronic fatigue, swollen ankles, couldn't breathe very well, and really nauseated. And I stayed in the bed for days of what I thought was fighting the flu. No, it wasn't. It was complete kidney failure, guys. Stage 5 ESRD. Within a few days, they removed about 30 pounds of fluid, and I had to ride in a helicopter to get dialysis treatment to save my life. Listen, guys, we now try to educate people, inspire, and motivate through the power of sharing your warrior story. If you like stories like this, stay tuned. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a H.O.P.E media production. Never let hope become a memory. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a H.O.P.E media production. Hope with Jonathan podcast is in collaboration with Impact America Media, where we give hope to patients to continue on, stay motivated, inspire, and encourage them to continue in the journey. For more information on Impact America Media, please visit impactamericamedia.com. Again, Hope with Jonathan podcast is in collaboration with Impact America Media. Hey guys, this is Jonathan, the host of the Hope with Jonathan podcast. And hey guys, Hope with Jonathan now has a website, www.hopewithjonathan.com, where you can go over and find out where to follow us on all of our social media links, our podcast, our YouTube channel, and much more. Again, guys, for more information on Hope with Jonathan, you can go to www.hopewithjonathan.com. Hi, guys. My name is Jonathan Traylor. I'm a 15-month kidney transplant recipient and the host of Hope with Jonathan. And back in July of 2019, I experienced emergency kidney failure. Yes, that's right, stage 5 ESRD. Guys, I literally thought I was fighting the flu, really hit rock bottom, and I was smacked like a truck by kidney disease. Listen, guys, the only thing I had to hang on to was my hope and faith in God, guys. And listen, if you're like me and you've battled a chronic illness like kidney disease, you want to stay tuned to this video because we're going to go into a series right now of hope, guys. And I appreciate everyone for coming on and watching my YouTube channel at Hope with Jonathan. But if you tuned in to watch this show about hope, you've come to the right place. I'm going to bring you there and talk about my story and much more. I got a message for you guys, a message of hope. That's right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Jonathan Traylor. Like I said in the intro, I'm a 15-month kidney transplant recipient. Back in July of 2019, I experienced emergency kidney failure after what I thought I was literally fighting the flu. That's right, I had many different symptoms looking back on what happened with me. I was chronically fatigued. I had nausea. I was very sickly, just didn't have any strength at all. And I had a lot of swelling in my ankles that was starting to creep up into my legs. And I couldn't even put my shoes on. That's how bad it had gotten. Literally, guys, I thought I was fighting the flu, tried to get out of bed, and fell completely in the floor. And I had noticed that I was not urinating. And you know what, guys? My lungs began to fill up with fluid because I was carrying so much fluid that I didn't even ever think about it being kidney failure or stage 5 ESRD, end stage renal disease. But that's what happened to me. And guys, listen, beforehand, I had no education on any of this stuff. No education on diabetes or hypertension or the effects of diabetes and hypertension or anything. I worked a lot of jobs that I didn't come across having insurance, health insurance. So a lot of my jobs that I had taken on, I never had health insurance to really go to the doctors. And to be quite honest with you, I thought I never really needed to go to the doctor because I always felt really strong and always felt like I could do whatever I want. I was a big guy, really strong, like I said, 6 foot, 200 and some odd pounds. I'm not going to tell you the full weight, but I was a big dude. And at one time at my heaviest, believe it or not, I had reached a plateau of about 350 pounds. And that's where my downfall was. I was eating what I wanted, a lot of garbage. I was eating fast food, burgers, pizza, anything I wanted, guys, almost every night. Occasionally, yes, I would eat something healthy, but it wasn't every day. I had a terrible regimen and a terrible habit. That lifestyle of eating whatever I wanted and a lack of exercise and a lack of education and didn't really have any strong mentorship in my life, I ended up in stage 5 ESRD, flat on my back in the hospital with an emergency session of dialysis. Let me give you a little more insight on what happened. So, literally, I went to my local emergency room that did not have a dialysis ward or a machine. And so after they ran my blood labs and found out that my creatinine was off the chart, my potassium was a 9, which is off the charts high. They literally came in the room, busted in, and said, how long have you been in kidney failure? What's going on? How long has you been like this? Guys, I had no clue of what was going on to me at that time. Imagine what I was going through in my mind, because at that time I was barely even able to breathe. I was breathing as if I had ran in a marathon, literally, and I could not control it. I ultimately ended up getting stat flighted in a helicopter. I'd never flown in a helicopter before, but got put in a helicopter and flighted to the nearest city, which was San Antonio, Texas, about an hour drive by car. In the helicopter, I got there within about 20 minutes. And literally, they got me there and just in time, because when I hit the door with the stretcher, when it hit the doors of the emergency room physician, he grabbed my chart, he looked at my paperwork, he looked back at me, and he said, "You better grab the crash cart." And literally, guys, I woke up 3 days later on a dialysis machine that was next to me in my room. I had tubes and hoses and lines, and I was intubated. My family was next to me. And guys, listen, I went to speak and I couldn't, because I had a tube down my throat. Honestly, guys, it was one of the most scariest and traumatic experiences that I'd ever been through in my life. Imagine your favorite television sitcom, okay? ER, those type of, Chicago Hope, all these type of shows, guys, Grey's Anatomy. This is a real life experience that happened to me, and it totally knocked me off of my feet, literally. And you know what, guys? I had no education, no prevention. Nothing that I was doing in my life could have prevented this. And I literally experienced this. And if it had not been for the faith that I had in the good Lord Jesus Christ, and in no way, shape, or form am I trying to preach or give you guys push what I believe and my beliefs on you, but I'm just trying to share my story, okay? And I can only share my story because I'm the one that lived it, right? So my faith in the good Lord above, my faith in Jesus Christ, my Savior, the faith and the prayers and the support that I got from my family and friends was incredible, incredible. And a side note from this, there's a lot of people out there that go through this that don't have that, because either they just don't have a good relationship with their family or their friends, or friends just don't understand, or there's many different reasons why. But I am so grateful right now to tell you guys that I had support, because when you battle a chronic illness such as kidney failure, kidney disease, you need support. It's definitely a tough road. And anyone that says that it's not are completely liars, or they've never been through it. Because I'm telling you, you have some ups and downs, you have some good days, you have some bad days. But I'm telling you, support is huge. And number 3, guys, I had strong mentorship in my life. I had a strong mentor that entered my life right after I went into kidney failure. I met up with a guy right here in my local city. True story, guys. True story. My wife was having gallbladder surgery right after my kidney failure. I ended up getting out a couple months later, ended up doing dialysis in center. My wife needed her gallbladder taken out. My wife was handed a card that had this gentleman's name on it that represented a nonprofit organization that helped kidney patients. And guess what, guys? I jumped all over it, because at that point in time, I was still like a deer in headlights, literally. And I was hit by a Mack truck, literally, by kidney disease. And so I knew I needed something. I immediately called him the next day after we got my wife home and recuperating well. I called him, and he wanted to meet at a local restaurant here in Kerrville, Texas. I'm right outside of San Antonio, about an hour from San Antonio. I'm about 2 hours from Austin, just to give you an idea of where I'm located. Okay. I'm in the hill country of Texas. It's beautiful here. It's gorgeous here. Lots of hills, lots of valleys, very scenic area of Texas. Okay. But anyway, guys, listen, this guy wanted to meet me.
in person. I had no idea who this guy was. I'd never met him before. I had no idea what he was all about. So I ended up meeting him at a Denny's, okay? And we talked. And I knew within the first couple of minutes that I was with him, I knew I was in good hands. He began to mentor me right away and teach me how to advocate for myself. Literally, we've all heard the term becoming your own best advocate. Well, guess what, guys? He taught me how to be my own best advocate, taught me how to get out in the community and get my flyers out there and advocate for myself, a living kidney donor. Put my put my information on their website and also across social media, okay? Because there's power, definitely power in sharing your story. But let's get back to why I started this video, okay? Because everything that I'm telling you is the reason why that I'm able to make this video, because everything that I went through and everything that I experienced because of these people, because of my relationship with Jesus Christ, the hope and faith that and prayers of and family that I had and support that I had from friends, and then the mentorship that I had, all gave me hope. All gave me hope and inspiration to continue on. My family gave me hope. My immediate family gave me hope and inspiration. So let's talk a little bit about hope and what hope is. Okay, guys? Because hope is a very strong word. Let me throw it up here on the screen so you guys see. Hope is a very, very strong word. It's definitely something you want to believe in. And here's the definition of hope. Hope is an optimistic state of mind that is based on an expectation of positive outcomes with respect to events and circumstances. Okay, guys? So listen, when you're battling something like a chronic illness like kidney disease and kidney failure, it's easy to get down in the dumps and easy to get low and easy to get drugged down. Trust me, I've been there. I've had some down days, I've had some tough days. But listen, I hung on to hope. Okay. And as you've seen, it's an optimistic viewpoint. Being optimist, meaning that although you're facing something, a great adversity, you're going to see the positive out out of out of all of that grief that you're battling, everything that you're going through. Being optimistic is seeing the positive all the way through that and being able to have a vision of something positive, saying to yourself, you know what? Yes, I'm going through hell, but guess what? I'm going to see myself through the other side. And that's being optimistic. I'm going to listen to my team. I'm going to get involved. You know what? There's another word that goes along with this, guys, called accountability. Okay. And acceptance. Acceptance is huge when you battle a chronic illness like kidney disease, kidney failure. Okay. I had a short amount of time in the hospital to deal with what I had happened to me. Just a couple of days before, I was out walking. I was experiencing July 4th. This was July 8th, 2019, when I went into emergency kidney failure. July 4th, I was just with my family celebrating with July 4th with fireworks, and we ate out and we had a good time. And I was feeling okay, but not really myself. Okay. Looking back, I realized I was sick then. But the whole point is what I'm saying is I had a short amount of time in from July 8th looking forward. Okay. I had a short amount of time in the hospital to accept what had happened to me because they started grilling me right away. You got to get, we got you on dialysis now. So you got to start with the renal diet. You got to start changing your lifestyle. You got to start changing this, changing that. And a lot of medical terminology coming at me, just throwing at me, within those 2 weeks. And yes, I ended up with a central line in my chest and converted to a permacath within just a few days. Started with an IJ in my neck. Okay. Had this, lots of tubes and all this line right here taped to my neck. I could barely turn my neck. Okay. I had the IJ in my neck, and they were able to draw blood from that and inject and do whatever they needed to do. And I also was receiving my hemodialysis treatment. Okay. They had me on the machine for hours. The first 3 days, they pulled off like 30 pounds of fluid. Okay. Like I said, I'd already mentioned to you that my potassium was a 9. That's the reason why when I went into the emergency room, the emergency room physician. God bless him. He read my chart, and literally he just said, we got to grab the crash cart. This is not looking good. Potassium 9. His heart was already in arrhythmia. I was breathing labored as if I had ran a marathon, literally. I mean, it was a very high intensity breathing. Okay, guys, listen, all these factors and all these things that happened to me, I'm really, what you're looking at before you is nothing short of a miracle, literally. So many different factors could have played out. I could have easily passed here. I could have easily passed in the helicopter ride. I could have easily passed at my emergency room here. Easily could have just passed that when I got to San Antonio. Okay, I could have easily passed. But God had a plan for me, okay? God had a plan for me. This is all looking back now, looking at everything that happened to me. I realized that God had a plan for me. And that's why you see me right now doing a show, doing this broadcast for you guys out there with a message of hope. Okay. And I'm just telling you, I'm just sharing my story with you to try to inspire you, to give you guys hope. Okay. And a lot of things could have happened to me. A lot of things. A split-second decision by the emergency room physician, a split-second decision by when I showed up in San Antonio at that hospital. Anything could have happened. But God had a plan and a purpose all along. And I really, truly believe that he's going to utilize my story and my gift of being able to interview other patients that are not only in need, but patients that have survived this, right? Patients that have been through hell and back, patients that can share their story and give you guys motivation and inspiration to continue on in the journey. I want you guys to know that you can watch my videos and rewind these videos and go back and say, hey, you know what? That guy made it, or she made it. This lady experienced hell just like I have, but she made it. And you go back and sift through some of my last couple of interviews that I did. The one that I just did with Mark Cornell, extraordinary individual, kidney transplant recipient, just like me. Incredible interview. I've done interviews with Steve Belcher, incredible advocate. Okay, guys. The list goes on and on with different interviews that I've done. I've done some really inspiring interviews, but I could not have done it if I hadn't survived it and hung on to hope. And now I want to use my platform. I want to utilize this platform, guys, to bring you guys a message of hope. Jonathan Traylor is just an average individual who just so happened to experience kidney failure and decided to step out of the realm of his comfort zone and do something extraordinary and incredible and try to help others by sharing warrior stories. Okay. And these inspirational stories are incredible. Every one of them are incredible. And what I found out is each one bring hope, but each story is unique and into their own. The common ideal, the common theme is kidney disease. Okay. Or dialysis or transplant. That's the common theme, but they're all unique stories and we're brought together by the kidney disease, by the commonality of the kidney disease. We're bound by that. We're brothers and sisters in that. We're a large family and a community that come together, and we're bound by the fact that we've all know what we are experiencing. When someone comes along and says, I've been through dialysis, or I've been through transplant, or man, I suffered a near-death experience. My kidneys are failing me. I'm a CKD patient. I just got told I'm stage 3. We've all been there. And each one of us have unique stories, and each one of us can help others, because I can only reach my audience as far as I can reach with my story. But there's other people out there that have went through other things that are going to reach other people that I can't reach. But you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and share your story. And I'm sure there's people out there that laugh at me or make fun of me because I'm so passionate about sharing my story. And you know what? I don't care, because I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone to help others. And I'm not in this for gain. I'm not in this to become famous. I'm in this to help others because we need awareness for kidney disease and we need to get the message out there. And like my man, Uncle Jim says, we keep talking until they listen. And we got to keep talking. We got to keep spreading the message of hope so that other people will be here and want to be here, right? And it's all through the power of hope. So I'm going to start this off with, like I said, the letter H. We're going to use this the word hope. Okay, the word hope to me. My mom gave this to me, and when I was thinking of a name for the podcast, I thought at first Hope for Jonathan. That's what my Facebook page was. It was called Hope for Jonathan. I realized after I got my kidney, I didn't need it to be Hope for Jonathan. I thought, you know what? I want to spread my story. I want to try to help others. So I thought, how about Hope with Jonathan? Okay. And it kind of stuck. And I thought, well, maybe later I'll change it to something, kidney, Hope kidney or Hope. Who knows what I'll do with it. Right. And then just Hope with Jonathan just stuck. And I realized that I love the name. So I was like, you know what? I love it. Hope with Jonathan. We're going to stick with that. And that's what it's going to be. This is the name of the show, Hope with Jonathan. And so, I decided to step out of my comfort zone and start sharing these stories. But the name of the word hope, I decided to break down each letter, H.O.P.E. And I thought, how can I break it down? So hope. So I thought, helping other people extend what? Extend their life, right? Because the knowledge that I'm trying to share about kidney failure, kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, information like about type 2 diabetes, hypertension, following the renal diet, all these things would extend your life. Because guess what? I wish I would have had stuff like this whenever I faced kidney failure, because I didn't know about anything. One of the first ones I came across, guess who? Guess who, guys? James Fabian, okay? Dad Vice TV. You know what? God bless Dad Vice TV for doing what he did and decided to step out of his comfort zone and start a YouTube channel to spread awareness for kidney disease. Because you know what? He was the first one I came across when I Google searched kidney disease and what I had faced with kidney failure, okay? And I realized that I thought, you know what? I really need to watch this guy. And then I came across, Steve Belcher with the Urban Health Outreach Media Network. And that was an incredible connection to be able to watch these guys. And then also he had Jared Brown with the Warriors Quest show. And then just many others that began to came in my life. Like I said, I already mentioned Kent Bressler with Kidney Solutions and Uncle Jim Myers and many different advocates, Lisa Baxter and Bella Langston and just so many, Don Kurkowski. And oh my God, I'm probably going to lose some names here. Now I got, I'm hanging out and networking with Sam, Mr. Kidney Jennings, Mr. Kidney right here on YouTube, guys. Some incredible advocates. And all these people connected are sharing a message of hope. Okay. That's what we're trying to do. Share a message of hope. We're not in competition. We're not in a race. We're just trying to get a message of hope out to others by sharing warrior stories. Okay, guys. So after I realized, those four letters, H-O-P-E, I thought, you know what? I like this and this helping other people extend. Okay. And then there was also helping other people excel. But then one day I was talking to my mom, and you just got to know my mom. My mom is a power warrior. Okay. She's a prayer warrior, 64 years old, full of fire. I mean, my whole life, listen, guys, I owe a lot to my mom. My mom has been an incredible inspiration in my life. She's an incredible woman. My parents divorced at the age of 5. I grew up most of my life, in a single parent home situation. And my mom was an incredible influencer in my life. Okay. And she's one of the reasons why you see me right now before you doing a show called Hope with Jonathan. That's my mother coming out in me. My mother is just a strong influencer, prayer warrior, mighty woman of God. I'm telling you, I love my mom. Very, very close with her. And when I'm in trouble, even at the age of 44, I call my mom and I start talking to mom because mom knows best, right? And she's just been an incredible figure in my life. So she drops this, and she drops a lot of stuff into my spirit many times, across my life. But she opened this up to me and said, "You know what, Jonathan? I think hope stands for you, for heaven opens possibilities every day." I'm gonna say it again. Heaven opens possibilities every day. And so, with that being said, guys, listen, we're going to talk about the word faith. Okay. Faith. So, I relate the word faith a lot like the word hope. And the word faith is complete trust or confidence in something or something. Okay. Strong belief in God or in doctrines of religion based on a spiritual experience. Faith derived from the Latin finds the uh, old French field in confidence or trust in person or thing or concept. Okay, so that's faith. So, like I said, I relate faith and hope much like the same thing. And the Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Meaning that I'm going to believe in something so strongly. I'm going to believe in something so strongly. And even though I can't see it, even though I physically in my mind or my body, I can't really see it. And you know what? I can't really see it even happening. But I got faith and belief in it that it's going to happen. And therefore, my faith becomes hope. Okay? And you want to know how Jonathan Traylor made it through emergency kidney failure and 3 days in the ICU, 2 weeks overall stay in the hospital. Okay. I'm just sharing my story. Okay. Spent 13 months on dialysis. It's a short time. It's a short time. I had no idea my kidney was going to come this quickly. This is how I survived it, guys. I had hope and I had faith. I had faith in God. I had faith in my God that He was going to bring me through. And prayer. I was praying every day. I was speaking things in existence. I'm speaking it in existence. God, I know you got that kidney. I know it's coming for me. God, I know that I survived this for a reason. I don't understand it. I don't know why it happened. Looking back now, I know why it would happen. But at that time, that was my prayer. I had type 2 diabetes, hypertension. Those are the two top leading causes of chronic kidney disease. Okay. Diabetes being number one, hypertension number two. My diabetes was completely running out of control and my hypertension. Okay. But guys, listen, that's how I survived it. I began to pray and have faith and hope. And as my faith began to build, that hope, it was easier to have hope that it was going to happen. I began to speak it in existence. God, I know you got a plan. God, I know that I'm going through this for a reason. I know you're trying to teach me something. God, I know that I'm going through this because at the end, you're going to get all the glory. I'm not trying to force what I did onto you. I'm just telling you how I survived it. Okay. That's the reason why you see me right here on this screen doing this interview right now, doing this broadcast. Okay. Sharing a message of hope for you. I'm trying to tell you my story. I can only share my story, my experience. Like I said, not trying to force any beliefs or anything on you. I'm just telling you what I did. Okay. This is what worked for me. And I had faith. Not only that, guys, listen, let's talk about the next word. Heaven opens. Opens. Okay. You got to be open to hope. You got to be able to be open. You know, it's easy to get a bad attitude, be down, discouraged. It's easy to not be optimistic, okay? Not to be pessimistic, to be angry, to be discouraged, to be down. It's easy to. I could have easily felt sorry for myself. And did I have those days? You absolutely believe it. But I had to accept really quickly, like I said, medical terminology being thrown at me, words that I didn't understand. You know, dialysis, fistula, renal diet, phosphorus, potassium. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about this, guys. I had to learn quickly. If I wanted to survive, I had to be acceptant and have an optimistic attitude. So you got to be open to having an optimistic attitude. You got to be open. You got to be open to hope and believing and having faith. You got to be open to it. You got to be open also to sharing your story. It's your story. The Bible says we're overcomers by the power of our testimony. And the testimony is your story. Okay. And you can't have a testimony without going through a test first. And I've been through this test. Okay. I went through emergency kidney failure. So that was my test. I survived it. So now I'm sharing my testimony, and there's power. We're overcomers by sharing our story, by the power of our testimony, because our stories are powerful, each one of them unique. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Be open to sharing your stories. Let's talk about the next word, possibilities. Heaven opens possibilities. Anything is possible. You're going through this for a reason, okay? You're hearing words right now like kidney failure. I want to tell you something. Or end stage. You're not a failure. I want to say that again. You are not a failure. And even though the words end stage is involved, guess what? God's going to take you from end stage to a new stage, because that's what he did with me. I was stage 5 ESRD, didn't have a clue in the world what was experiencing or what I was going through, had no idea, had no education. I was stage 5 ESRD. First they were saying AKI, acute kidney injury. Had to change it to stage 5 ESRD because guess what? Dialysis did not wake up my kidneys. My kidneys were done. I didn't urinate for 13 months. I didn't pee at all. And I'm not ashamed to tell you guys, it's okay to talk about. And I found it very strange and it was very weird. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, it's very strange. And at times I had the urge to go. And then I would tell people and they didn't understand. Like, how do you get rid of fluids? Dialysis. Dialysis, what's that? How do you catch that? Is that part of the disease? You had to, and I found out a lot of people were suffering for lack of education. We suffer for lack of knowledge, right? And so I realized out there in the community, and it goes across the board with not only talking about medical terminology with this kidney disease, kidney failure, it's also across the board with transplant and becoming a donor. It's a lack of education, lack of education. And that's why I'm so big about trying to share stories of and give hope through prevention. And I really believe that prevention is key. So we got to share stories of hope, but possibilities. You got to be open. Listen, heaven opens possibilities. You got to be open to sharing your story. Possibilities are endless. Let me tell you why. Because you've already experienced kidney failure, right? Or you've been diagnosed with kidney disease. There's possibilities for you. It's not over. It's not the end. It's not the end unless God chooses to take you. He's the one. The Bible says he's the giver and taker of life. So if he chooses not to take you, like he did me, could have easily snatched me out of here. Could have easily said, you know what? He's done. And no one knows the day or the hour. No one knows when that's going to happen. It's God's call. It's God's call. But listen, if you've experienced this, if you experienced a diagnosis of kidney disease, or you're on dialysis, or maybe you're facing dialysis, or maybe you're in need of a transplant, or maybe you experienced a near-death experience just like me, guess what? You're a survivor, and you survived this for a reason. God's not done with you. This is a sign for you. It's a wake-up call. God's not done with you. He's not. He's got a plan. And it's up to you whether or not you utilize this plan to help others. Okay? And I realized I survived this near-death experience to share my story, to help others. Okay? So heaven opens possibilities. The reason why I say there's possibilities is because there's treatments, right? There's treatments. You're gonna either you're gonna follow a renal dietitian, so you get diagnosed with kidney disease. So you're gonna start consulting right away with a kidney dietitian and start seeing a nephrologist and doing your blood work and staying engaged with your team. Okay, and the renal dietitian is going to talk to you about diet changes. You really need to focus on that. Really, really get your mindset and focus on your relationship with your team. Okay, if you're not comfortable with doctors, guess what? You're going to have to learn how to be comfortable with doctors. You're looking at a guy that had white coat syndrome, could not stand doctors, didn't want to be around them. I was afraid of them. White coat syndrome. Yes, this was the poster child for white coat syndrome. That lifestyle of not liking doctors, not wanting to be around doctors. In the back of my mind, I knew some things were wrong. I knew something was wrong. You want to know why? My urine was literally a bright shade of yellow, like a dark gold, like literally, and it had froth. The froth was literally at some points coming up and out of the toilet. I'm just giving it to you real, guys. I'm a real person. I'm giving it to you real. I had very foamy and frothy urine. It would just literally almost foam up out of the commode. Terrible, terrible condition. There was times I had urinary tract infections. The urinary tract infections were so severe that I had blood in my urine. Severe blood. It's not funny, guys. It's not a joke. This isn't a joke. Kidney disease, kidney failure, diabetes, hypertension. It's not a joke, guys. Literally, you got to take it serious. So heaven opens possibilities. Okay. Okay. So the possibilities are the treatments. You're going to consult with your renal dietitian. You're going to talk with your nephrologist. You're going to stay engaged with your team. You're going to try your best to adhere and put into your routine and regimen the renal diet, right? To do your best to follow those diets. Okay. And then also, if you end up in kidney failure, then there's dialysis. And then if you're lucky, I ended up in an emergency situation. So I ended up with the catheter. Okay. That's the way it happens for you. There is no modality choices for you at that point. You're in an emergency situation. They got to get to the blood. They got to cleanse the blood. And so the first thing they're going to do is do the IJ in the neck, or catheter in the chest. However they're going to do it as quick as possible, because you got to get that blood cleansed. Guys, listen, my potassium was a 9. Do you realize that some people don't survive that? Like they get really nervous once you get up and over 6.5. It's scary. Like at that point, that's like, alarms are in 7 or 8, but I was a 9, like off the charts high potassium. So now I watch my potassium very close. I'm around a 4.5 now with transplant. Okay. I watch potassium. I really watch foods. Even though I'm transplanted, I still have to watch and be mindful of it. Absolutely. I watch it. Okay. But listen, guys, heaven opens possibilities. So like I said, there's treatments, dialysis, and then we're going to talk about this really quickly. The possibility of a transplant. You got to be open to sharing your story with others. Start talking with people. Start talking with people right away. There's a word called preemptive transplant. Not everyone's a candidate for it. I understand that. But listen, you've got to be willing to talk with, you want to start with family. Okay. You want to start with your nearest relatives, your brother, your sister, your mother, your brother, your cousins, uncles, aunts, anyone in your family. You want to start talking with them, and you can ease into it. Just let them know, hey, I recently am battling kidney failure, and right now I'm just really, really focused on searching for a donor. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to even ask family for $1, right? But at this point, you really need to be talking. So in my mind, if you're stage 3, stage 4, there's no reason at all why you're not already talking with someone saying, you know what, I've got a kidney disease. It's progressive. Eventually I'm going to need dialysis, and ultimately I'm going to need a transplant. You've got to be willing to get your story out there. So be open to sharing your story, because you never know. You never know who you're going to come across that may be willing to step up for you to be a donor. Okay. Like I said, start with family and friends. Start with your family and then your friends. Okay. And then from there, get it across social media. Start thinking about being optimistic and using your gift of faith and hope. And there's power in sharing your story, so you got to be open to it. And the possibilities, like I said, there's possibilities for you. There's treatment. Going to be engaged with your team, and start looking for that donor. Okay? Because there's possibilities for you. It's not over with yet. Okay? Every day. So heaven opens possibilities every day. You know what, guys? Listen, every day of my life, I've realized that word hope, it sticks with me every day. Okay? Even after transplant. I'm literally living a life and story of hope. Okay? Everything that I've experienced, everything I went through, it's based around hope. Like I said, easily could have been taken out, easily could have passed, easily could have, not made it, not even made it to the emergency room here. Could have passed right here in the bedroom. But guys, listen, that word hope. This is a really true story. I'm just going to share this with you, even though some of you out there won't believe this. My mother had a vision. Okay. Like I said, my mother's in tune with God. She's in touch with God, and she prays. She prayed, and one day in the kitchen, she had a vision that something was going to happen to me, that I was going to die. Okay, and she began to pray against that. And she started rebuking it, and started quoting scriptures, and started pleading the blood of Christ over my life. Okay. Listen, guys, just a few days later, I was in the hospital with kidney failure, with a near-death experience. Now, whether or not you want to believe that or not, that's fine. That's up to you. But I'm telling you, it's as real as you see me right here in front of you speaking. Now, this is a spiritual connection that my mother has. Okay, God speaks with her. Like I said, I'm not trying to force anything. I can only share my story. But God spoke to her. And she began to pray. Faith, hope, being open to sharing your story, possibilities, hope every day. Heaven opens possibilities every day, guys. I had no idea where my donor was going to come from. When they finally got me on the transplant list, it was probably maybe 4 or 5 months later, after I'd been on dialysis. I went down San Antonio, spent the whole day there at transplant, got evaluated. Each one of those doctors signed off on it, including I met the surgeon, signed off on it. Like I said, I was speaking it in existence. And God was just ordering my steps. He was ordering my steps. That's a good prayer to pray. Order my steps, God. Instead of questioning God, why is this happening to me? Pray that. God, I know I'm going through this for a reason. And I know that I'm still here. I'm a survivor for a reason. I want you to utilize my story, but I need you to help me. Order my steps. You know what? He will. I'm telling you, you're looking at a direct result of hope. Okay? Heaven opens possibilities every day, guys. Listen, you're looking at a direct result of that. And I never thought my kidney would come by the way that it did. Okay? I was told by my mentor, Kid Bressler, it would come at a time that I wasn't thinking about it. Guess what? It was exactly right. It was on a Friday. We got the call. Maybe it was probably a Friday. I got a call. I didn't take the call. Then my wife got a text. And literally, my wife said, you got to call her. Okay? It was a friend that normally whenever I'd get a call, it was usually about a computer issue, because I work in IT and had worked with the computers and computer repair, printer printer repair, software issues. I was that guy, okay? And literally, I thought that's what the call was, but literally, what it was it was my call for kidney, okay? And after I got off the phone with her, I immediately called my mentor, and my mentor told me, said, Jonathan, you need to take this kidney. This is your opportunity. Heaven opens possibilities every day. It totally took me off guard when I got that call. Like he said, it was almost like he was prophesying to me. And literally, when I got the call, I still didn't believe it until later that night around 10 o'clock. I got a call from Transplant, and they said, are you aware of the kidney? And I said, yes, I am. We need you to be here at 6 a.m. in the morning. You know what? I didn't sleep that whole night. Toss and turn. Got up at 5 a.m., drove all the way to San Antonio. You know what? There was a little hiccup. I was supposed to have surgery, I think, around noon, and something happened. My kidney just didn't show up because they were flighting it from another state because I was direct donated to. And at that point, I began to question. But you know what? I had hope and I had faith, and I was open to whatever God had for me because I knew the possibilities were endless, and I had hope because heaven opens possibilities every day. And later that evening, somewhere around 5:30, 6 o'clock, they came and got me all prepped, took me in there, and I knew it was for real. I knew it was for real when that end of my bed banged the door, and I came in and I looked across the room, and there's a surgeon. He's messing with the kidney in the background. I seen him. And as soon as I nodded out and I went out, I knew. Right before I counted backwards. I think they told me count backwards from 10. I got to about 8. That's all I remember. And I got my transplant, guys. It wasn't the way that I thought it would be, but I had hope. And I had faith. And I believe for it every day. And I know that many of you out there, under the sound of my voice, you've been waiting a long time, and you've been on this wait list. I want to encourage you to continue to have hope and be open to sharing your story, because the possibilities are endless. And every day, miracles are poured out. I'm nothing short of a miracle. I want you guys to continue to believe that it's going to happen. Speak it into existence. Have faith. And just know that you got a warrior here that is behind you and support you, love you, and pray for you that it can happen. Because it happened for me. I want you guys to know that I love you with the love of the Lord Jesus Christ. And my name is Jonathan Traylor. I'm the host of Hope with Jonathan podcast here on YouTube. And I hope you guys will consider subscribing to my channel. And I hope you guys stay well out there, stay blessed, and remember to believe in the power of hope and love and faith. All these things. The Bible says the greatest of all is love. The greatest of them is love. So I want you to spread love to everyone, regardless of the situation. Spread love to everyone. Be open to sharing your story. Okay? Have hope. Heaven opens possibilities every day. It's what happened for me. I wouldn't, like I said, I'm totally in awe sometimes thinking about my story. The way that my kidney came. I would have never thought it would have came that way. But you know what, guys? It came that way. And I now want to be a blessing to you through the power of sharing your story. I hope you guys have found this inspirational to you, motivating. And I hope you guys will find this message of hope in love. Again, guys, my name is Jonathan Traylor, host of Hope with Jonathan. Hope you guys take care. God bless. Stay safe out there. And remember to continue. Take care of your kidneys. And as I close this out, guys, remember that heaven opens possibilities every day. God bless you. Hang on to hope. I'm Jonathan Traylor.
KWM is a place for all who suffer from kidney disease. No matter what stage you're at in your journey, we are here for you. KWM is a platform for kidney warriors to tell their personal story. KWM offers many ways to tell your story. Our Warriors Wall is a platform in which we allow the warrior to tell their story in a short blog format. Our Warrior Stories, we take your story and we place it on video, with voiceover telling your story. Do you have a message for all kidney warriors? We can give you a message of hope. You come on camera and speak your message of hope to other kidney warriors. Our final conversation starter is our line of Kidney Warrior merchandise. Go to www.kidneywarriormerch.com. KWM. Starting conversations.
Hey guys, Jonathan here. Guys, listen, we have a brand new podcast coming out produced by H.O.P.E Media Productions called H.O.P.E Stories Podcast. Let me tell you a little bit more. We wanted to give a platform for anybody to come on and share their story, a message of hope. Whether you've been through a weight loss journey, maybe you faced drug addiction and you beat that, maybe you faced a near-death experience like I did with kidney disease. Maybe you went through organ failure. Maybe you had to get a liver transplant, or possibly you've been through a divorce. Or maybe you really faced some real hardship and went through a traumatic experience. We'd like to give you an opportunity to share your story. So if you like stories like that, people that have beat the odds and overcome great obstacles in life, you'll definitely want to check out H.O.P.E Stories Podcast, now streaming everywhere, including YouTube. Check out H.O.P.E Stories Podcast. Hey guys, go over to www.kidneywarriormerch.com. Submit your story today and get a shot at being the Warrior of the Month. If you're selected as the Warrior of the Month, you'll get a chance to interview with Hope with Jonathan podcast. Whether you're a kidney warrior, kidney dialysis patient, or even a kidney transplant patient, or maybe you've just been diagnosed with kidney disease, go over to www.kidneywarriormerch.com and submit your story today. Kidney Warrior Merch is a supporter of Hope with Jonathan podcast. Again, guys, that's www.kidneywarriormerch.com.